Finally, we've got your Paladin deck. This is kind of a mixture between, excuse me, a
Uther versus Uther. Sorry. I will fight with
standard kind of control-y and shock it in. So this is a good hand. I'm going to keep everything in it. I got a turn 1 option, turn 2 option. You want to constantly be playing to the curve of your mana. Your mana will eventually be 10. So perfect to drop in this situation. So we'll drop out our little squire. He's got a secret. It could be... We're going to figure out what that secret is. So when you're playing against anyone that has a secret, with the exception of mages, mages can kind of be a little tricky. You want to bait out what it is with a swing. If this is a... So in this case, it could be eye for an eye. It could be... it's noble sacrifice. It could be anything, really. So we'll swing. It's not eye for an eye, and it's not noble sacrifice. So it's probably either repentance or redemption. We'll put out the haunted creeper, because if its health gets reduced, so that's not a big deal. Yeah, so it was repentance. Against hunters, the first thing you want to do is attack the face. That's the very first thing you want to do with a creature. Before you play anything or attack his creatures, you want to attack his face. Attacking his face will trigger explosive trap, freezing trap, misdirect, etc. We're going to trade here.
I fight.
Get out one of our own reporting for duties, and they're put down a leopard now. Now I've got plenty of candidates to kings next turn. Even if he clears the board, we'll still have 2 1/1s. He's going to probably silence this guy. Yeah, so now it's a 1/2 again. He's actually who I want at kings. So we'll trade here. Kings this guy. He's now a big 5/6. And start picking at his health. Next turn we've got another 4 damage at least. He's got really no options. He's probably going to take this guy out or hit my face. Yeah, so now he took 1 damage from that. Because we're afraid of silence, what we're actually going to do is equip our own sword and hit his face for 9. And then next turn we've got an additional 8, so we win next turn. This deck kind of works fast. He's going to trade his health to 1 and then probably ping him off. But as you can tell, we've done plenty of damage, and this is actually going to hurt him a lot too. See, he took 5 to the face as well, just trying to take him out. We've got another kings, which means we've got plenty of targets in here to kings again. In this case, what I want to do is this to avoid him trading, and I don't want to put him out because I'm afraid he's going to consecrate if there's too many creatures. So he's probably going to trade again, and we'll put on our weapon and take him out. This card deck runs a very fair amount of charge creatures, so if we're lucky, we'll get a charge creature on the board. But I think we win this turn. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, not yet. 9, 10, 11. Almost. Okay, Knife Juggler's not a bad option. We're going to drop the Knife Juggler. We're going to make you stronger. Hopefully to do this, right? We did it. Sweet. Put that buff on him. Now he's hitting for 7 to the face. Knife Juggler is a free one target. There's that Consecrate I was worried about earlier. But so you want to try to keep... This deck is like the Zoo deck, except for it's not necessarily as... powerful because you can't constantly replenish your hand. As you can tell, at this point in the Warlock game, I had plenty of health. So this game's over. We're gonna go ahead and just kings. Does 2 damage to the hero. Oh, I use it as a finisher occasionally. A little bad manner, and then I always bad manner the AI because I don't ever bad manner other players. So it lets me get that bad manner out. I think bad mannering another player is one of the worst things you can do. So those are your 3 decks. I'm going to put these up as soon as I can. I'll send you the deck list will be in the video. If you have any questions, you know my email address. Hit me up. These are just kind of budgeted towards his specific collection. He doesn't have a lot of cards in particular, but for those who like to visualize the decks at home, here are those decks. Normally I put a I guess I took them out. Oh yeah, I took out I had a golem in here to replace, quote unquote, he has a cannon, which is awesome, to replace the charge, the nature, but I took him out for Spectral Knight because he's so beefy. But this is actually pretty standard. This was replacing the big game hunter. This replaces one of the drakes because he only has 1. Warlock Zoo is pretty standard in that it runs the 2 Knife Jugglers, which are important. It runs the 2 Doom Guards, which are important. I put a Sludge Belcher in here. I didn't have a lot of... There's some cards that you wouldn't normally put in a Zoo deck, like Gulfshire Footman, but he only has 1 Shield Bearer and not any Dust. I put Hellfire in here because I couldn't put something else in it, but I don't remember what it was. Shadow Flame. I've seen Shadow Flame in a lot of Zoo decks, especially with eggs. But I took Shadow Flame out and put it in for Hellfire because you don't have Shadow Flame. And then we've got Paladin. Kind of shock it in. Blessing of Wisdom is a card you sometimes want to play on your opponent's minion. Like if you're up against a Zoo Warlock and he puts down a Voidwalker on turn 1, if you use Blessing of Wisdom on him, he'll either never attack with that Voidwalker or he'll attack you every turn, and every time he does attack, you'll draw a card. You could also put it on creatures that you know are going to be well protected, like Guardian Ancient Kings is hard to kill. Azure Drake's kind of hard to... He's a big, beefy body, so you can maybe put it on him like turn 5. If you play him turn 5 and he survives, turn 6, Blessing, swing again to get another buff. Blessing of Might is kind of a card you want to save. There's no Leroy in here because he doesn't have Leroy, and he doesn't have the Dust to craft it, but Spectral Knight kind of takes that place as an opposite. It's not a finisher. You kind of want to save your Arcane Golem as a finisher, your Arcane Golem kind of replaces the Leroy. You put Arcane Golem down on turn 10, for example. You put down Arcane Golem, he costs 3. You use Blessing of Kings, that's 7 mana, and he's now an 8/6. You use Might, he's now, that's 8 mana, and he's now a 8/6. He's now an 11/6. You put down 2 Beasts of Sergeants for your last 2 mana, he's a 12, 13, 14, 15/6 to kind of end the game with when you've whittled them down with your smaller creatures and weapons and board control. So good luck in your tournament. I hope you win, and I hope if you don't win, I hope you place. I definitely recommend practicing with these decks against the AI, and then even venturing into casual mode just so you know how they work and how players respond to what you put on the board. Talk to you later.